This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Hello, once again, all those who watch Vauldemare's playthrough of Dragon's Dogma. It is me, Vauldemare. We have collected the 20 wake stones. We have not completed all the trials, but they are not necessary, for all they are bosses and monsters. But we have steadied our steel, mastered our minds, and kept our feet quick-witted. Please tell us our next step, Quince.
At last you've gathered the whole of them. With them, you can summon forth a rift of considerable power. This rift, born of the Wakestone's power, will guide you forward, Arisen. I fear there will be no returning to this place. Are you prepared to journey on?
Yes.
End this, Arisen. May the world be put right by your hand.
Alright, we have opened up the bomb pit. Thank you, Quince. Now, do you have something to say? Well, okay. Here goes nothing. Geronimo! Whee!
Well met, Arisen. I'll not waste time on rhetoric. Defeat me, and take my place as keeper of this world. You saw it awaiting you at the end of your descent. Aye, the same world you've traveled to arrive at this place. A world you may well now inherit. It is a simple proposition. No different than any you've faced. You need only the will to claim what is offered you. The will to survive.
Yes, fight, Arisen, as you e'er have fought in coming here. What is it that impels you? What force spurs you on? What sustained your wanderings and led you here? I ask you, what is it that makes you alive? 'Tis volition, unbending will. You are here because you willed it, Arisen. That alone has brought you here.
Consider the infinite potential. Just as you call forth pawns, so I command all life into existence. Call it divine creation if you must, but expect none of the mercy men seek in their gods. This is cold truth, the unbending reality of a world without compassion. The world and all its denizens are but empty vessels. In that regard, no different than the pawns. Without volition, there is no true life. The world falls stagnant, dead as an ocean with no current to guide it. That volition is tempered by the struggle for survival. The decision, just like yours, to fight. Just as the pawns need a master's command, so the world thirsts for the will to live.
Let us continue, Arisen. Show that you are more than an empty vessel, animated by forces unseen. Show that the temper of your soul is strong enough to command far more than mere pawns. Show that your will is fit to bind the fraying circle of this world and hold it fast. Fight tooth and claw. Struggle now and cling to life. Show that living holds worth enough to fight for.
It is time to decide. Will you claim your right as arisen? Or shrug the burden and seek peace in oblivion? Just so. One foot after the next, come what may. That is what it means to live. Turn back now, and I will grant you a merciful death. The choice is yours, Arisen. Yours alone.
'Tis a simple choice, Arisen. Step forward or retreat. Accept the quiet emptiness of a false peace, a false life.
Why not put an end to it? The praises of the quiet life are sung far too infrequent.
Go. There is naught to be gained from my words now. Indeed, heed no voice but your own.
You're not without a home to return to. Why? What is it drives you so?
My! It's too great an honor for one of my stature.
Why this hesitation, sir? You've aught to protect, do you not? This is your answer, then.
I would beg you rest a while yet, but just as like you would turn a deaf ear. Instead, I ask only that you keep us in mind now and again.
Goodbye.
I was always so afraid. You seemed ever like to leave for somewhere I could not follow. All I asked was to be at the side of those I loved. All I ever asked.
are close now. So very close to me.
Come, Arisen. I shall meet you on your own terms, joined by my own companions of old. You stand now at its end, Arisen. See your journey through.
To be victorious, temper your soul in its heat. The forge of my heart grows cold. World shivers from it. World is poisonous, cold and empty for all its beauty.
Turning wheel. My will that urges time to fight knows when. It repeats upon itself that all the world and so the cycle continues. It's a fight that knows when. It repeats upon itself that all the world may repeat with it. And so the cycle continues forever and ever.
Lest we walk away. We can deal the final blow.
Fight knows no
end. No!
It repeats upon itself. Arisen, forgive me. All I've done is to test your will. It is the fate of all Arisen. You and I are swept up in the current, same as the rest. Each tempers the volition of the next, and the endless cycle continues. And so, until the coming of a new soul fit to craft the will to live, someone like you. Until that day, may you guide the world ever justly. I present you with the God's Bane blade. Those who arise to oversee this world are undying, save by this brand's kiss. I ask that you, as the world's new seneschal, use it now to vouchsafe freedom to your weary servant.
It feels different yet.
New crown sovereign and keeper of eternity. Grant me now this single boon. The fire of my life is spent in guttering. Give me freedom with the kiss of the God's Bane blade. If there is aught you wish to know afore my death, you need but ask. My knowledge, as my all, is yours to take. What would you hear of me? The Seneschal is steward to the world. The world you traveled now rests in your care. Just as the Arisen calls pawn into being and sets them to motion, the Seneschal holds dominion over all living things. There are those who would call such a being Maker, or God. I cannot deny the claim any more than affirm it. In the end, they are but words. Call it what you will. Such is the office I have served, just as those before me and you beyond unto eternity.
I sense a strange power. It seems somehow familiar.
New crown sovereign, the fire of my life, if there is aught you... My knowledge, as my all. The pawns exist astride the rift. They speak of a multitude of worlds, each infinite unto itself. Limitless in span and lost to time, these worlds extend in an eternal, perfect loop. Just as a ring lacks start and end, so this world has no origin, no final terminus. If it does, they lie beyond argument. We are prisoners of unpassing time, wandering an unending land. What lies beyond, we cannot know. New crown sovereign and keeper of eternity. The fire of my life, if there is aught you wish, my knowledge as my... Aye, there is life in the world and with it death. Naught lasts forever. Each rises and falls in its time. But such is a death akin to that of pawns. They appear in this world and vanish, only to appear again, like bubbles in a mountain spring. As so it is with all that lives within this eternal world. In time, you will come to see it happen under your watch, Seneschal. Each beast, each blade of grass, each human life is born to die and be born again in endless rhythm. Naught lasts forever, yet all persists unto eternity. New crown soul, the fire, if there is aught, my knowledge as my all. Will is that which led you to this place, and that which turns the eternal wheel of the world. Along the endless string of life and death, there are some born with a hunger. They yearn for some other, better place. They are the Arisen, nascent fountainheads of will. And so the dragon is sent into the world to guide the Arisen, and refine them, to temper their wills into aught capable of sustaining the world. And so the cycle of our world has e'er continued. New crown sovereign, the fire of my... If there is aught you wish to know afore my death, you need but... Mourn me not, for I welcome the release. At long last, I am free of eternity, of infinity, free of the cruel, unending ring.
Is it over? I don't know what you were wrapped up in, but it must have been something grand. And the world's a different place for it. Though I'm sure we'll still manage brilliantly, you and I.
Well, that was it, folks. That was the end of Dragon's Dogma. An interesting ending, to say the least. I'm sorry I didn't talk through most of it. I felt it wouldn't be very cinematic if I was jabbling on during the final scenes of the game. It is very strange indeed that basically the game is an eternal loop that the guy you played at the very beginning of the game, if you guys all oh, there's my name there. The names of time and all my stats. Huh. How many? Oh, I died 76 times. Oh, that is terrible. Level 70 by the end. Aisha the pawn. She ended up becoming you and to live the rest of your life, yet you decided to kill yourself because you couldn't keep going on. Or at least I assume that's what happened. It's hard to really explain that game, and the part about the end where that one shop girl ended up being there. It's supposed to be your love interest in the game that pops up there, and I thought it was the princess, but apparently it was oh, who's this? Oh, it's just talking about some of my pawns or something that I hired. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I guess at some point during the post game it changed, like, because if you don't talk to certain characters, they slowly lose affection for you. So maybe because I talked to that inn girl a few times more than the princess, she ended up becoming oh, that's weird. She ended up becoming my love interest, which kind of story-wise didn't flow as well, because, you know, if you've seen my recordings, it was originally a princess I saved from the dragon, or not the princess, the duke's wife or whatever. But whatever, that's my game, and that's how it works. It's kind of ended on such a weird note, but I really enjoyed the game. I mean, it's not perfect. The story, I hate to mock it, but it was okay. Nothing too fantastic, but I guess really in the end, that's for this game, that's not the big deal. It's all about the action, the play, the connectivity. You know, if they ever do a second one, which I've heard they will, then hopefully they'll do a little bit better on multiplayer. That would be a lot of fun, being able to play with multiple people in this game together. So we'll see how that goes. And I guess that's the book of our journey. Some of the main pawns we had in our group, as well as our deeds. And thus is the end of Dragon's Dogma. I know it wasn't perfect, and I know I didn't show everything throughout the whole game, but as a rental game, it was very enjoyable indeed. You know, the graphics looked pretty good, voice acting not too bad. The AI was dumb at times, but I think that's really depicted on how you teach your AI to your pawn, because they can be affected by certain questions you can ask them during the game. But overall, not a bad game, pretty good. It definitely has a lot of replayability value, because, you know, when the credits finish, it'll be a new game plus, and you can choose to play your character with all stats and abilities, stronger monsters, and so forth, and you can beat the game again, do different things, and so forth. You know, look at all the people that worked on this. But if I had to give this game an official go, I'd have to say, if I send it back or keep it, I would say keep it. At the price it is, a little expensive. Used in most places, not too bad. But if I had to choose, I would keep it. I really did enjoy it. I mean, I wouldn't call it game of the year or anything like that, but it was definitely worth my time and effort. I spent quite a bit of time on this, at least like 70 hours, if not more, on this game. I mean, literally, I spent a lot of time on this. About the same I usually do with most RPGs, and this is an action RPG to say the least. Now, there's some repetition in the game, you know, running around, doing a lot of side quests. I could probably beat this game a lot faster, but I thought to at least get the most I could out of it before I have to decide on to keep it or not, which I believe I will. So perhaps I'll play this again later at some point, but for now I will go on to other things and other rentals, and I think I'll let just the credits show the wonderful people that worked on this game. All I can say is I thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you have any questions or concerns, just write them down below, but I'll let them run out, and thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.